Maria, a 17-year-old, gets herself ready for school. She has a special breakfast alongside her parents, Amy and Dan. Maria steps out for a smoke. She meets her friend Lily. When she boards the school bus, Mark, an intimidating student, stands in her way. At school, it becomes clear that Maria is shy and feels like an outsider. Later, Maria and Lily spend time at the school's ice skating zone. Lily, a skilled skater, moves towards her boyfriend, Sean. They share an intimate moment, while Maria looks on, a mix of envy and sadness in her gaze. At their residence, Amy brings up the topic of prom with Maria. Maria, feeling it's silly, declines the idea of attending. She responds a bit harshly to Amy and heads out. Dan, not the usual protective type, shows his concern about Maria's seeming disinterest in boys and social gatherings. Maria secretly listens in and overhears her dad label her as messed up. In her parents' bedroom, she approaches the dressing table, thinking of applying some makeup. But something catches her eye from the mirror's side. It's a sonogram showing twins, which unsettles Maria deeply. That night, Maria becomes intimate with herself on the bathroom surface. At the peak of her feelings, her mirror image seems to stare back at her. Startled, Maria loses her balance. She rises and clears the foggy mirror. Bit by bit, her reflection moves independently. Terrified and unable to comprehend, Maria bolts from the bathroom. Dawn breaks, and with thoughts weighing on her, Maria tries confiding in her dad about the previous night. But he brushes her worries aside, commenting on how worn out she looks, suggesting she should use some makeup. Walking towards the bus, she spots Mark, but then Lily pulls up in her shiny new Porsche to pick up Maria. They then park near Sean's place. Maria slides to the rear seat, giving room for the couple to share a passionate moment. Walking through the school corridors, Mark tries to trip Maria. But Sean steps in, lifts her up, and pushes Mark away. For Maria, no one ever took a stand for her before. They share a brief, grateful glance and head to their lessons. Back at her place, Maria finds comfort in a warm bath, taking a break from the tough world outside. As she dips below the water, the unexpected sound of a baby crying fills the air. Memories of her own birth interrupt her calm. Post the bath, sleep doesn't come easy. A mysterious voice says her name, drawing her back to the bathroom. There she confronts her mirror image, Aram. Aram is everything Maria isn't, self-assured, alluring, and assertive. Aram offers to assist Maria in tackling her challenges. Aram embodies the confident version of Maria, a woman who won't let others push her around. The next morning, during breakfast, Maria's shift in demeanor is evident to Amy and Dan. She states her desire to attend prom. In school, Maria tells Lily about her wish to skate for the winter prom. Lily gives a nod, and they set a date for a lesson. In town, Maria drops by her dad's workplace. Dan is a cosmetic doctor. While waiting, Maria converses with the front desk lady. Soon, Dan comes out to see Maria, but a client pulls him aside. Maria observes her dad inspecting the client's nose, sensing some unusual vibe between them. A movie outing with Dan becomes uncomfortable due to some mature content. While there, Maria spots Mark, who's with a date. They hastily leave, and a tense Maria stumbles upon Mark. Mark greets Dan and then offers Maria a friendly fist gesture. She reciprocates, leading to chuckles from Mark and his crew. Heading home, Dan mentions Maria's forthcoming birthday. He suggests she drop by his clinic the next day for a special gift. Back at home, in the bathroom, Aram challenges Maria's perception of Dan. She questions his real concern for her. But Maria, expecting a car as a birthday surprise, believes it's Dan's way of protecting her from Mark and his gang. The following day, post-school, Maria heads to Dan's clinic. To her shock, instead of a car, Dan proposes cosmetic changes, tweaking her ears and refining her nose. This overwhelms her, making her see that her dad struggles to accept her flaws. That night, she concedes to Aram's earlier insights. The conversation then drifts to their mom, Amy. They deem her passive in the face of Dan's overbearing nature. Suddenly, Amy walks in, asking Maria who she's chatting with. She starts looking for hidden drugs, causing Maria to chuckle uncontrollably. Amy then turns to Dan, mentioning Maria's strange actions. Instead of paying attention, Dan gives Amy a pill to relax her. He puts a soothing cream on her face. Amy mentions her recurring bad dreams, but Dan comforts her, saying they'll fade as always. The following day, Maria and Lily head to a childhood hangout spot, now deserted. They start practicing skating. Lily urges Maria to loosen up, but Maria stumbles instantly. As she tries to get up, Lily pays no heed. She warns Maria to keep her distance from Sean. Back home, Maria confides in Aram about Lily's behavior. Aram points out that Lily, and many others, don't truly value Maria. She brings up past moments of Lily's unfair treatment. Throughout their friendship, Maria overlooked Lily's toxic actions. Aram emphasizes she's the real friend now. She offers Maria an escape from pain if Maria lets Aram take over. As they're about to seal their pact, Amy interrupts them. Dressed for prom, Maria looks radiant, making Amy beam with pride. At the winter prom, the buzzing ambience of the rink overwhelms Maria. The crowd, bright lights, and booming music make her tense. She hesitates, fearing she might fall. Then, Sean comes over, leading her to the rink's center, and they share a dance. As they sway close, Maria spots a displeased Lily, causing her to slip. Sean rushes to assist, but Lily halts him. Mark extends his hand to Maria. When she accepts, he drags her around the ice, much to the amusement of the onlookers. After this ordeal, a humiliated Maria exits the scene. Distraught, Maria summons Aram in the restroom. She agrees to swap places. With emotions high, their hands meet, and they share a tearful embrace. Back in her room, it's now Aram in control, enjoying a smoke. In the main bedroom, Amy's caught in a distressing dream. She envisions her time of childbirth, filled with loud shouts of discomfort. As the sun rises, Amy inquires about the prom night from Aram. Aram deflects, saying it was all just fine. Walking into school, Aram has a dark, unwavering stare. Moving towards her class, Mark throws a jibe at her. Aram halts, noticing their jeers. With calm strides, she goes up to Mark, making him fall silent. Unexpectedly, Aram touches him suggestively, leaving him in shock. Sean tries handing something back to Aram, but Lily interrupts, causing him to retreat. Lily offers soothing words, but Aram sees through her false concern. Nevertheless, she asks Lily for another skating lesson. In the old clubhouse, Aram is seen honing her skating skills solo. Later, she drops by her dad's clinic. Seeing her, Dan appears taken aback. Out of the blue, Aram gives him a kiss on the cheek, mentioning how much she's missed him before leaving. Aram requests the receptionist to make some hot chocolate for her. As she steps out, Aram takes a quick look at the logbook and dials a patient. She lets the patient know there's a spot available and secures it for her. After this, Aram gently asks the receptionist to ring up her mom about a dinner plan at the clinic with Dan. Back home, Amy gets a call and is overjoyed to hear about a date plan with Dan. Some time passes, and Aram spots Amy and the patient walking into the clinic simultaneously. In the lift, both try to put on their best look, clueless that they're meeting the same man. Amy praises the lady's attire, only to learn that it's Dan's top pick. This revelation leaves Amy stunned and deeply hurt. At the dinner table, Aram questions Amy about Dan's whereabouts. Amy, not really wanting to talk, just nods in reply. Seeing her mom's denial about Dan's wandering eye, Aram nudges her to face reality and admit that Dan has interests elsewhere. In a fit, Amy reacts by slapping Aram. She's quick to say sorry, but Aram, not affected, departs. Inside the restroom, Maria's image now appears in the mirror. She challenges Aram over her recent deeds. Aram sternly tells her to quit objecting, claiming she's merely doing what Maria never had the guts to. At their regular spot, the clubhouse, Aram's skating has improved notably. She stands by, watching Lily learns from her coach. As Aram's lost in thought, Mark bumps into the railing. After their session, Mark breaks away from his mates and spots Aram afar. Drawn to her, he heads to the changing area and hears the sound of showering. Trying to sneak a glance, he's caught off guard when Aram's right behind. She takes a swing with a hockey stick, making his knee pop out of place. Mark yells out from the hurt and Maria calms him, all while smiling. Aram and Lily head to the clubhouse. On the rink, Lily gets taken aback by how much Aram has advanced. Lily performs a maneuver, and Aram mirrors it, astonishing Lily even further. Every time Lily shows a new move, Aram matches her. The air thickens with their growing rivalry. When Lily tries a more intricate move, Aram stumbles. Picking herself up, she gives Lily a challenging glare. She then pursues Lily, speeding up with every stride. Tears blur Lily's vision, leading her to lose balance and crash. Her head smashes against the solid ground, leading to a bleeding wound. Aram stands by, seeing the tragic end of someone she once knew as a friend. On her phone, a distraught Maria is visible. Pretending to be horrified, Aram notifies the police, but soon, her detached demeanor comes to the fore. Back home, an investigator seeks to interrogate Aram, but Amy persuades him to come back later. In the restroom, Maria confronts Aram about the recent events. Aram thinks she's only acting on Maria's hidden desires. Maria, though, now wishes for them to trade roles. However, Aram remains steadfast. At Lily's memorial, Sean is spotted among the mourners. The investigator offers his sympathies to Sean and exchanges a glance with Aram. As she tries to make an exit, Sean holds her back. He embraces her, giving solace to the person responsible for his girlfriend's killer. In the quiet of night, Aram discreetly visits Sean. At the door, he greets her, and once inside his room, he gives Aram something to smoke, hoping it might ease her sorrow. As they discuss Lily, Aram takes a seat close to Sean. She faces him, staring deeply, and admits she's had thoughts about him. Aram's hands find their way to Sean's lap. He tells her to back off, but she leans in and starts kissing his neck. Both are aware their actions aren't right, but it feels overwhelmingly tempting. Unable to resist any longer, Sean reciprocates. On another evening, a server brings Aram some delicious crab. She dines alongside her dad, Dan. He inquires about her well-being, and even though the tragic incident was recent, Aram displays no signs of distress. Dan mentions he's been away from home due to ongoing disagreements with Amy. Aram questions when he'll mend their relationship. However, Dan's attention shifts to Aram's improper table manners. He gets upset, showing her a video of her behavior and criticizing her harshly. She complies with his demand to behave, but inside, bitterness grows. During school, Aram discreetly sends a note and sends it to Sean, who recognizes the smell immediately. They both skip and exit school in Sean's vehicle. In her bedroom, their way of mourning Lily is to replicate what she and Sean used to share, intimate moments. The following morning, seeing law enforcement at school, Aram proposes another day away from classes. Although hesitant, Sean eventually agrees, and they find themselves in a motel room. Aram has brought along some alcohol. The mood shifts when Sean's phone rings. It's his mom, mentioning the police want to speak to them. Sean intends to depart, but Aram is adamant about staying. Trying to keep him there with affection, she whispers for him to remain. Sean pushes her off, confronting her about evading the cops. Feeling cornered, Aram reacts violently, striking him with the bottle. Sean drops, blood staining the floor beneath him. Retreating to the bathroom, Aram is confronted by a distraught Maria. They stand side by side, both filled with sorrow and despair. At the house, Amy is once again tormented by a bad dream. Within this dream, she listens to Dan speaking to her younger version about Maria's other half. The child had imperfections, and Dan, believing it was Kinder, chose to end her life early. After a tiring day, as Dan cleans his mouth, the doorbell interrupts him. Aram stands outside, unable to support herself. Swiftly, Dan assists her onto a nearby table and gets her some liquid to drink. Trying to drink, Aram accidentally drops the glass. This action upsets Dan. As he's tidying up, he notices Aram without her top on. He urges her to dress, but instead, she reveals more of herself. She then questions if he finds her appealing. Confirming he does, she further asks if his affection would remain if she had physical flaws. To this, Dan assures her of his undying love. However, in a sudden move, Aram uses a sharp instrument to end Dan's life. As he collapses, she wonders aloud why he failed to love her previously. After tidying herself, Aram checks her reflection and seeks Maria. But there's no answer from Maria. Exiting the place, Aram realizes that Maria's reflection is absent everywhere. Eventually, she returns home and joins Amy for rest. In the last scene, both Aram and Maria are seen next to their mother. By the story's closure, Maria's presence fades as she and Aram become one. While Aram achieved her retaliation, Maria found hers too. But in their pursuits, they both ended up losing everything, leading them to the bitter truth that their mirrored escape no longer existed.